Autumn is a guitar that I've not had for as long as some of the others, but I've connected with incredibly deeply, incredibly quickly. Autumn's a Fender Telecaster Deluxe, and the first electric guitar I ever owned was Crow, who was also a Fender Telecaster, not a Deluxe, but a Telecaster. And Autumn, if you can see kind of right here, these pickups for Autumn, these are what are called humbuckers, and most Fenders, especially most Telecasters, tend to have what are called single coils, and a humbucker is essentially two single coils put together. And Autumn has what are called Fender's wide range pickups. So these are humbuckers that have a wider range and response than a typical humbucker. And I'd wanted a guitar with Fender wide range humbuckers for years. And one of my dream guitars it's called the Fender Starcaster. It's a big semi-hollow guitar with a really kind of unique headstock and then those same pickups. But I told myself I want it in a red sparkly paint job because I love sparkle guitars. And me and Nakia were going on a fall foliage kind of trip, whatever. And we went out to Traverse City and we stayed there for the night. And while we were there, we saw there was a guitar shop, but it was too late to go inside. And I looked at it, and it was a small little shop, and I didn't want to go in, mostly just because I didn't want to, spend any money, because I know guitars are expensive. But she was bugging me about it. She's like, come on, we'll go in. Tomorrow we're going to be in town still. We can go take a look, and if you find something cool, but if not, then, whatever. And I still was kind of like, nah, I don't want to go in. I don't want to do it. It's a small little place. We don't got to go in there. And she just kept pushing me on it. So we went in, and I'm looking around, and it is small. There's not a ton of guitars in the spot, and there's people around, and I don't like hanging around in music shops when there's a ton of people, just because I feel like I'm kind of getting in the way, I don't want to take up space if I don't need to in that place. But I was walking around, and then I saw out of the corner of my eye just some sparkle, and I look over, and there's just Autumn hanging there, just this red sparkly Telecaster with Fender wide range pickups. And I've never seen that paint job on a Telecaster since. I have not once come across it. And I looked it up, and for some reason there's just this red sparkly Telecaster just hanging in a shop in Traverse City. So I'm looking at it, and then I'm walking away, and then I'm looking back at it, and I'd walk away, and I'd go back, and Nakia sees it, and she's like, just pick it up. Just go play it for a little bit. And I was like, okay. So I pick it up, and I go walking in the back, and I plug her in, and I'm just playing little stuff. And one thing about me is that when I start to really like a guitar, I just start giggling, or making little noises, little happy sounds. And Nakia knows them by now, so she knows if I'm falling in love with something, because I just start like I'm a kid in a candy shop, and just just little stupid shit. But it was happening, and she sounded so clear, but still really full and big. And that's part of the humbucker, and that's also part of it being a Fender. Fender guitars are insanely clear. That's what I love about them. And I couldn't stop playing. And she was like, "You're gonna buy it?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's money. I don't know if I want to spend money right now." But I knew I didn't want to leave without the guitar, so I went up to the front counter, and I was talking to the guys for a minute, just kind of seeing if they were cool or not, and they were really nice. And I told them that I was from out of town. I just happened to stop in, and they threw in the gig bag, and they cut the price down. So it was just one of those things, It's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's buy a guitar. So I picked her up, and the whole time I was driving home, I just wanted to get home so I could play the guitar more and put her through my amp and my stuff. And when I got back, I just kept on playing and playing and playing, and the song kind of came out of those nights playing. When I knew I wanted to make the album based around the guitars, I already had a few bits of riffs and ideas that only came from Autumn, and I didn't know if they were going to fit in a song, because they were kind of different. But it was snowing one day, and the part that's in the intro, it just came to me. I woke up, and I just wanted to play it, and that's what came out. Just that really, really soft bit, just in the intro. just those real delicate notes. Just seeing like the snow and just having autumn there, that's what came out. And then as soon as that came out, the rest just kind of started to snowball and go and go and go, and eventually, there's a song there, and it wasn't something that I'd planned, but sometimes the songs happen like that, where just once you get the right riff or just the right moment, the rest of it just falls into place. And with her song, there is that quiet intro, but then there's the middle where it picks up and it gets kind of groovy, and there's all these complex chord voicings going on, and then there's the little melody line that kind of goes up and goes down, and then at the very end there's a guitar solo, and I'm not really a guitar solo guy, but it was just a moment where I felt like this needs a little something extra, just something to let the guitar speak. And guitar solos, to me, for a long time, I felt like they were really ostentatious, really egotistic, and I didn't do them, but I've eventually kind of come to understand that the guitar solo, at least now to me, represents a space where you can let the guitar speak a bit on its own and not have it be within the context of this has got to carry a melody or this has got to carry the rhythm. It could be just a guitar singing and doing its thing, and that's what this ending was to me. And at the very end, you go back to the intro where it's just quiet and it's peaceful, and it gives you that moment where you can reflect and just be there. And I think when I pick up autumn and when I play with autumn, there's always this sense of you could do a ton of stuff with autumn. Like, I could play rock with autumn, I could play metal, I could play jazz if I wanted, I could play blues, whatever. But autumn is a guitar that just wants to be played. She always is there whenever I want to just go pick something up. For a long time, I didn't play any of the other guitars. Like, after I bought her for a few weeks, I just didn't pick up any of the other ones. I just only wanted to play autumn because she's so eager to, to be a part of the process. And I know it's weird to talk about inanimate objects like that, but I genuinely believe that each of my guitars has a spirit, a sort of essence, if you will. I don't want to say soul, although that might be the better word, but it's just there's something about them that they have that I've picked up other guitars and they don't. And that's why they end up with me, so I can take them wherever I gotta go and they can be a part of it. And I think, whereas Jet is about me listening to my gut and trusting the feeling, Autumn is more so about me recognizing that sometimes it's okay to admit that you like something and to admit that you want to do something. Because if I'd listened to myself, I would have not bought Autumn just out of the not wanting to spend money or the not wanting to be a burden or not wanting to take up space. And those are all, I don't want to say self-harm, but those are thoughts that are not helpful to me. Those are thoughts that I have because I'm a human, but they're not intrinsic to my experience. They're distractions and they're intrusive thoughts. But in letting those go and choosing to kind of let the better part of myself come out, you end up with something really special and a relationship that is stood up against those thoughts and against those feelings, even despite the time that's passed. I don't have any second misgivings about buying Autumn or going into that shop or trying out the guitar. It's all for a reason. It's all for a purpose.